Hello everyone, welcome to GGN. Today is Wednesday, January 30th, 2013. My website is ggnonline.com, and on YouTube my channels are ddarko2012 and ddarko2013. All the headlines and links should be in the YouTube's video description unless I have problems. On the first article I have up, and I'm just going to cover different stuff in this third video, is grandmother sues city police department over June flash grenade incident. I actually covered this back when it happened. Police were looking for a person who posted threats on the internet. And it says here that 68-year-old woman, Evansville woman, who was at home with her granddaughter last June when police and SWAT gear tossed in a flash grenade into her home and forced their way inside to serve a warrant, has filed a lawsuit against the city and the Evansville Police Department, which, is like regular people that aren't responsible for this are going to foot the bill, the city taxpayers. I'm not even sure if you could actually sue the police department, but who pays for them would be the city. So, ultimately their taxes are going to go up to pay for the Evans Police Department lawsuits, or they'll just collect more revenue through fines and that. So police came up empty-handed in a search for evidence about threatening internet posts, but only after damaging the house, handcuffing the woman and her daughter, and seizing their computers. It says actually the police department and the SWAT team executed the search warrant with a local television crew in tow to memorialize the raid. The lawsuit continues. The officers smashed their window and storm door and threw in a flash bang grenade that created property damage in addition to destroyed the window and storm door. The 68-year-old woman and her daughter were ordered onto the floor at gunpoint, handcuffed, and paraded in front of their neighbors into police vehicles. Then you have police take on wildest couple facing 60 days in jail for rescuing an injured baby deer. So Indiana couple saved a wounded baby deer and nursed it back to life, saving its life and giving it a home. They named it the Little Orphan Danny. When Indiana state officials got word of the courageous act of compassion, they ordered the deer euthanized because government wants to kill everything you love. It says when the deer escaped right before it was scheduled to be killed, and yes, I think the couple probably set it free rather than have it killed. The man and women were charged with unlawful possession of a deer. They now face a $2,000 fine and 60 days in jail. Another example of government police state, and it says it's on top of it seemingly countless other stories of similar police state insanity, such as armed government raids on raw milk distributors. Like this story here from January 25th, another family business destroyed, Morning Land Dairy, raw milk, cheese raided. Says in business 30 years with not one customer ever getting sick, 18 tons of product seized to be destroyed by the Missouri Milk Board. 18 tons, man. There's a boy that's 5 years old and he faces school suspension for building a gun out of Legos, so it's just another story. It seems to be popping up once a week. Legos can transport kids to imaginary worlds and get them in real trouble. A 5-year-old is facing suspension after building a Lego gun at his school in Massachusetts. It says here the school warned the parents that their son would be suspended from its after-school program if he had another gun incident. So, yet even if the firearm was pieced together from colorful plastic bricks, the parents are aghast. It's not like he's designing a machine gun. His dad said the principal says the school needs to maintain a safe environment. While someone might think that making a Lego gun is just an action of a 5-year-old, to other 5-year-olds that may be a scary experience. So that's what the officials and authorities say. Got to have a nice, tranquil, passive environment in high schools, or in just schools in general. But it's kind of weird because you notice in high school, even in grade school, I mean, children can be vicious towards each other, so it's not really all that tranquil. But I think that's part of it too. That's part of the indoctrination, to get them used to just hating everybody and fighting with everybody, and of course going along with everybody else, or going along with certain groups, so that you could be accepted into the herd, into the clan. Swine flu vaccine gave my son narcolepsy, so furious mom is set to sue the government over a vaccine. So get down here eventually. A mom claiming her son developed narcolepsy after getting a swine flu vaccine is threatened to sue the government. So he had the condition within 3 weeks of the vaccine and now sleeps for 19 hours a day. He can fall asleep every 5 minutes, even when he's walking, eating, and swimming, and he suffers sudden seizures when he laughs. It says here they received the vaccine from their general practitioner on January 21st, 2010. He was told that, she was told that he was at risk of the H1N1 virus because he was under 5. See, that's just the irony, right? Is They say that the most high-risk people, which are elderly, useless seaters, children, the youth, so you got to start eugenics early, and pregnant women, which is future life. So this full-on attack. So they found kids given anti-swine flu drug pandemrix had a 10 times bigger risk of developing the disorder. So next up, walking angel girl who performed at Obama's inauguration shot dead in Chicago. So 15-year-old girl who performed at Obama's inauguration last week was shot dead Tuesday while hanging out with friends after school in a bullet-scarred Chicago. Also a gun-free zone as well. So, described by her family as a walking angel, she was standing under a canopy in Vivian Gordon Harsh Park when a gunman ran down an alley, opened fire, and fled in a white car. So, pretty interesting. I mean, what was the motive here? This was at 2:20 p.m. It says, I like how they put this. A 16-year-old boy was wounded in the incident, but revenue collectors said Pendleton, who had no criminal record, was probably not the intended target because he had no criminal record. Yeah, so I guess you could just assume that people with no criminal records aren't going to get shot. And it's kind of the ridiculous logic of the good guys and the bad guys. It's kind of like the down in Texas, we were talking about the active shooter education course or whatever, basically what they recommend to students. And one of them is, besides playing dead, is when you see police, when you see the good guys, you know what I mean, do what they say until they get the bad guys. Oh, speaking of which, here we go. So the describer's an honor student and all that. It says here, as usual, the bad guy aims, but he never hits the other bad guy. He hits the one that hurts the most to lose. So they're thinking that this was actually just kind of by accident. So it's just a matter of days after the happiest day of her life, she's gone. So, to me, this kind of seems like a hit. I don't know, maybe not, maybe just looking too into it, but you never know with this type of stuff. You got blood sacrifices and all kinds of crazy stuff, pushing more, just another way to push gun agendas and gun control agendas. But helicopters spotted in Houston, Texas. Watch the raw footage. So you go in there, check it out. Following reports of military exercises occurring in Miami, black helicopters or Apaches, whatever, this week scaring the crap out of people, gunshots and machine guns. This local affiliate shot video of military-style helicopters roaming the skies of Houston, Texas. There's also been reports of gunfire in the area as well. So they're overseeing a multi-agency training drill at the old Carnegie High School in Houston's South Side. Reportedly, armed men in fatigues, a lot of firearms, what many believed were real live rounds. The Army didn't give any additional details regarding the training and what it's all about or why it's being conducted in Houston. So, wow, there they go. And this is what you're seeing. Like the state troopers now, completely federalized. You'll see like they all have like this camouflage. They look like they're ready to go to war, man. So one local resident said they didn't understand what was happening when she saw military helicopters flying over. When you see this, you think the worst. When you hear this, you think the worst. They said to the news, I felt like I was in a war zone. It was nonstop. I was terrified. So that's the point, was to terrify the locals, get them used to it, and create a more simulated environment, a more realistic environment by not telling the people that you're going to do this. Another resident said the Army should do a better job of alerting the locals. Well, they don't have to. They don't give a shit about you. They don't have to. The People's Army. F that. It's not the People's Army. That's why they'll suspend your kid for making a Lego gun. They'll do whatever the hell they want to, So Miami-Dade County argued that the training exercise in Miami was, quote, routine, and that, quote, designed to ensure the military's ability to operate in urban environments, prepare forces for upcoming overseas deployments, and meet mandatory certification requirements. Arkansas town's martial law plan, so it's updated, it says backlash met plan for officers with AR-15s to patrol, stopping everyone out walking for their ID. Pretty interesting, because I think it was just in Missouri that the officers of one police department in particular was going to purchase AR-15s with their own money. So, like I said, they tried to take them away from citizens, and then they are going to start arming themselves. But also, just on a quick side note, is that I was thinking about this earlier with all these gunshots. You hear about all these crazy shootings at gun shows now, and it almost makes me wonder if, like I said before, that they want people to go out and buy weapons and ammunition. You help fund the military-industrial complex because they have pretty much a monopoly on firearms and the firearm industry. So you're supporting the monster, the beast, by doing that, playing into that gun-grabbing fears concept or operation. And so it almost seems like they try to just flood the market or just flood the streets with all of these weapons. So in order to do that's what I'm saying. They want people to go out and buy all these weapons in order to, and so they just get into everybody's hands, and everybody doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know safety checks. They don't know that they shouldn't point their weapon at anything they do not intend to shoot. Keep your finger off the trigger. Just don't leave it in your pocket and in the chair hanging where the babysitter can get to you. I mean, people are just being stupid about it. And then people go out and they think that there's going to be gun laws, and there really never really is. I mean, we'll see, but it just promotes people to go out and get guns, and then all these people have guns, and then people get shot, and they say, oh, see, that's why we need, even regular people that, pro NRA and pro gun, firearm advocates will even say enough is enough. I've heard that, enough is enough. So this is deep psychological stuff. And then, of course, you have guns everywhere. Guns. I mean, just the amount of blood, gore, and violence that is in television and most movies. I can't stand to watch it, but it's like if you're with other people, you kind of you just go along, to get along, and you end up watching the crap. And it's just, man, is it bad? And then they wonder why people make guns out of Legos and stuff like that. It's a gun obsessed culture as far as the media goes. They put it out there. And then when the young people pick up on it, then they're demonized. I mean, it's some real sadomasochistic psychological crap that they pull on people. It says, according to the local news reports, the police department canceled 2 town hall meetings to discuss the heavy-handed policing plan followed from outrage from the residents. The police cited public safety concerns to cancel the meetings. Meanwhile, the mayor's reportedly dialed back his rhetoric around the amped-up policing proposal. It says here, the mayor said patrolling police would not constantly be carrying assault rifles, although announced to begin January, no SWAT patrols have begun yet. But this is after it was met with rage and the news picked up on it. But originally, following a rise in violent crime in Paragould in Arkansas, a town of around 26,000 residents, the mayor and police chief announced that starting this month, police and SWAT gear carrying AR-15s would patrol the streets. If you're out walking, we're going to stop you. We're going to ask why you're out walking and check for your ID. Says the police chief, I'm going to keep moving fast here. Cary Grove drill to include shooting blanks in hallways. So this is from the 29th. School shooting drill planned for tomorrow in the far northwestern suburbs has many parents upset. So it's a code red drill at the school. It included somebody shooting blanks from a gun in the hallway in an effort to provide our teachers and students some familiarity with the sound of gunfire. See, most realistic simulation, right? During the drill, teachers will keep the students in the rooms, lock the doors, and draw their curtains. Police will sweep the building. So if they do what they're told, they carry out the curriculum, and that's their job. And an indoctrination camp. Get them used to this stuff, these raids. From the school's request, they want to let the students know what the sound of gunshot might be should that occur in their school. So yeah, you don't hear what a gunshot sounds like, even on TV and stuff like that. I know it's not real life, but still. Officials But they've done this somewhere else as well. October 22nd, 2011, in the high school. It goes on here, doors were locked and police with dogs moved in. Students stayed huddled in the classrooms where they were told to stay away from the windows. It goes on here as they thought it was just a search for narcotics because they're used to that now as well. These little going through your lockers. Drug-sniffing dogs combed the school while students stayed in locked classrooms believing that an attacker was roaming the halls. Pretty crazy. They actually kind of misled these people by saying that it was that there was a shooter out there when really it was a kind of a drug pat down. Some kids were freaked out by it, these drug raids. It was a terrible civics lesson. But they'll do these things. Parents outraged that elementary school uses padded solitary confinement cell to punish students. So there you go. If they do that, they'll do that. 3 shot at Phoenix office complex. Manhunt for the gunman underway. And there was actually a picture of like 10 or 15 of these guys. You see them every now with these shootings. These guys with these camo look like military. They're like sheriffs and state police and SWAT. I guess it's the new normal. So the Sandy Hook officers encountered several individuals as they approached the scene. Of course, after their handler discussed with them that as part of an operation, they probably let them go. Date on Social Security death record for Adam Lanza, the Connecticut shooter, is December 13th, 2012, 1 day before the Sandy Hook massacre. Psychiatry to label entire families with a mental disorder called parental alienation disorder. U.S. Senate approves Skull and Bones John Kerry for the Secretary of State. There's an earthquake 5.3 in Oregon and also in Chile 6.8. And Windsor ends water fluoridation after 51 years. This is GGN and I'm Darko. Thank you.